Hi guys. I look like shit because I'm exhausted. I've not slept well the last few days. So apologies for that. Um, and I get fidgety when I'm sleepy, so don't expect me to stay still for any length of time. As you can hear, there's been some development in my voice. It's changed a lot from the first video I've made, which is really cool. I'm excited about it. I'm happy. Honestly, I'm thrilled. I actually like the sound of my voice now, which is fun because I used to hate it. Um, I picked up a couple tips as far as giving yourself a shot, so I'm gonna be talking about that. But also, I've been on testosterone now for almost 60 days. I'm giving myself no, actually more than that. I think no 60. I think I'm giving myself my last shot of my second prescription. So that's been 8, and then there was one at the hospital. So yeah, like yeah, 56 days now. There's been changes. I have actually some little black hairs growing on my chin and on my thighs and on my belly and on my stomach and on my chest, and it's strange. It's very cool. I am starting to get like some acne issues, which nobody can see because they're very light colored. But I am getting them a lot on my chest, on my back, and my scalp. So I know we typically say 3 to 6 months to see much of anything, but it doesn't always happen that way, which is awesome and great. But it did kind of catch me off guard. I wasn't expecting my voice to change as quickly as it did, and it really was freaking me out for a while because my voice to me sounds different, and it sounded different to me for several weeks before anybody else could hear it. It sounded weak and strained and like I was trying to lose my voice, or like my allergies were acting up and your throat starts hurting, your voice sounds weird, but nobody else could hear anything different. Most people now they ask if my allergies are acting up or if I have a cold, and that's not at all what it is, but it is kind of that not quite changed yet scratchy tone, but it does keep trying to break on me and crack, and I'm waiting for the crack to happen. I grew up doing show choir, so I've been around it with the guys I was in choir with. So I know what it's going to sound like, and I just kind of want to get that part over with. But I'm really not missing the acne side of puberty. I hated this, and um, I'm not looking forward to it. Again, I'm getting some on my face, but it's mostly like in my scalp and body acne. And trust me, acne in your scalp really hurts if you've never had it. It sucks. So I'm gonna be trying to do something about that. The other thing is, as very often happens, my blood pressure got very high. It got actually frighteningly high a couple times. So I'm on medication for blood pressure now. It's not working exceptionally well. My blood pressure still has a couple times got up fairly dangerously high. I check it at work, so it does get checked. Um, but it's staying at the pre-hypertensive level, which it shouldn't be with me being on medication. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is just me. I don't know if it's the right dose. Meds are always a dance. But that's definitely a thing, and I kind of hate the angle of this camera because of my face. Yeah, yeah. But so that is a thing that you need to be, grossly aware of. Okay, I'm moving this way, but that is a thing you need to be aware of. If I wasn't symptomatic at all with my blood pressure, there's been one time where it was up, and I just could feel it was off, and it wasn't even like a headache feeling that everyone thinks you get. You can get it, but most people aren't that symptomatic. I just kind of felt off. So do if you have issues with blood pressure running in your family, if you've got risk factors, make sure you're checking your blood pressure. You can check it at like drugstores for free. I work in a hospital. I have the nurses check it when we have downtime. And I mean, honestly, I hook myself up to the machine, and they just put the cuff on me, and I use the machine myself. You can buy home units. Do keep an eye on it because it can get very high without you feeling it, and that can throw a monkey wrench in things, and you don't want that to happen. Um, So we're going to see how that works out. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I haven't seen any changes in my hair yet, which honestly I was worried about before my voice. We'll see how that goes. It is pretty thin, but you know how you keep it cut, keep it styled. It looks kind of bad right now because I'm tired and I've had 8 hours sleep in 3 days, and I don't care. I mean, really, I don't. My insomnia actually got a lot better when I started tea, so I'm a little upset that this has came back because I was feeling better. I was, sleeping better. I was sleeping soundly. I went from getting, shitty few hours of sleep to, sleeping a solid, 5 or 6 hours and waking up and then going back to sleep for a couple hours. And I was actually getting like deep restful sleep, and now I'm kind of back the last few days of getting this, shitty series of naps. Just doesn't work. It's like my body's forgotten how to fall asleep. That sucks. I'm also having just a bad day in general with, some chronic pain issues I'm dealing with, and I've been dealing with for a long time, and I've got a rheumatology appointment, and I will be very honest, I'm incredibly nervous about rheumatology. I'm worried that, she's going to be like, hey, maybe we should, stop the testosterone until we find out what's going on, because, I'm not doing that. I'm not willing to do that. But I am nervous. But I will, let people know how that goes. But anyway, as far as what I've picked up, when you start, there's not very many of us in the medical field, which sucks. This is the right part. So, the people who are actually getting these shots all the time actually learn tricks. One, I found out you can actually inject with a very, very small 25 gauge needle. It takes a while, it's slow, but hey, it doesn't hurt nearly what a bigger needle does. So anyway, your vial, your itty bitty vial of, your best friend. This draws much, much easier if it's warm, and it also injects much easier if it's warm. And if you're going to use a small gauge needle, you need to have it warmer because it'll flow more easily. You can hold it in your hand. I'll be honest, I tend to stick it in my shirt and keep it there for a couple minutes while I set everything up. I'll show you these because they do look a little different, and there is kind of a trick to swapping your needle out. But yeah, these are very small. These are little bitty thin needles. They do look different than the ones that come on the syringes. And this is just sort of a trial to see if it works. It's working, so I will probably continue to get this, but my doctor's a little iffy. She doesn't really think it's a good idea. Luckily, she does listen, and I've got, people I can go to for help on that one. But yeah, you just want to warm this up for a few minutes. No big deal. By the way, last time I did a shot video, I didn't have a sharp pen. I have a sharp pen now. I got it from Walmart. I think it was like $10. It's actually in the diabetes section for insulin needles, lancets, and pen needles, but it works for this too. And you can get quite a lot in here. This will do me for a good while. It probably won't do me a whole year, but 6 months or so it'll do me. There's openings on the top. We don't really need to concern ourselves with this one because it's for pen needles. This is the opening you want to concern yourself with. Don't stick your fingers in there because you put needles in there. Okay? And the box will tell you how to get rid of it. You can, go on the website on the front or call them. They do have mounting brackets, which you can get one for free. I'm debating doing that because then it puts it up and it's easier to get stuff in and out, and you don't have to worry about it falling or falling over or anyone getting into it. But yeah, it says on the front of it, and this is from BD Home Sharps container. It's got your line on the front. You don't fill it up past that line, which really wouldn't be an issue if you're using it for testosterone. Because the syringes are long enough, they come about up to here. I mean, you can see where they fit. Um, you know, so you're not going to fill it up above that line. You're just going to get a single. You're not going to, yeah. Anyway, but it actually does say on the front, you know, if you're disposing of pen needles for someone else, please use a mounting bracket. If mounting the bracket on a wall, make sure the instructions can be seen, which is in front of these. You can receive a free bracket, a bracket free of charge by calling DB Product Information Line, and it gives you the number and it gives you the website. And your state, it varies state to state how you get rid of these, so you know, make sure you check on that because it does change. But yeah, there's a nice little handle on the top for me to carry it. This is the lid. The lid doesn't go on until it's full because once the lid's on, it doesn't open again. Alright? Put that off on the side. And I do just keep it like right on by my side. Anyway, I'm actually very jealous. A friend of mine gets 18 gauge needles to draw from. And oh my god, it's like drawing through a soda straw. It's so easy. I'm jealous. Anyway, our good friend the needle. Put my testosterone in there for a minute. Again, you're gonna pull your lid, draw your air, keep this because you're gonna put the needle back in that. Put it in here. Inject your air. Get all the air bubbles out. It draws so much easier when it's warm. I wish I could claim credit for this, but I can't. Get that air bubble back out of there. It really does draw easier when it's warm. It's great. You do just want to watch it. You know, remember that this has only 2 doses in it, so it's gonna be a little more difficult to completely draw. Okay. And I moved it, so I've got to get my hair back out. There we go. I did pour a little air into this. That's okay. This is empty. Gonna put my needle on, my cap on my needle. Be very, very careful when you're doing that. They do say not to redo it by hand, but you get used to handling them. And then you're going to open your injection needle. And these look a little funny because it has the lid and it has the cap. Okay? And what you'll do is you unscrew this and it just screws off. It's very easy. You stick that in your sharp spin. You take your needle, you twist it on. Okay? And then you pull this back all the way because it kind of does feel like it gets in the way. It doesn't too much. And then pull your safety cap off. Isn't that a much, much friendlier looking needle? Look at that. It's so small. And then make sure you're, there we go. Okay? Make sure there's no air. Do your flap technique with pulling your muscle aside. Again, smaller needle. Hurts much less. Where did I get stuck here? And again, you gotta go slow because, you know, you're using a much smaller needle. That's okay. And I'm actually just watching what I'm doing because I can't take my eye off what I'm doing, or my hand will shake a little, because my hand-eye coordination really sucks. And I don't want my hand to shake when I've got, you know, a needle in my leg. Right, pull your needle out. I put my finger on my injection site, and that really helps, like, keep the testosterone from leaking out. Okay, and that's how I handle that. Works well. And then you close it, and you're done. Okay, and you can't get that back open once it's shut. So then you just put that one in your shark fin. There you go. Done deal. Okay.